I see the missus parading along Walham Green, through the jewels and silks on the coster's car.
This one has been a real challenge for everyone at Druid, I think, to work on the sort of production team because of its sort of physical demands and just trying to kind of deliver Casey's vision along with Gary and our sort of interpretation of it they've sort of pushed the boat out a bit with it, and I think that's going to be very exciting to see when you see it.
The job of this music is to accompany the drama at that point in the piece, so it's got to be appropriate to World War I, it's got to be appropriate to the character, and it's also got to be appropriate to Gary's style and vision. The whole of Act 2, most of Act 2 has music running through it. There's about 8 or 9 songs in Act 2, and there's only a 20-minute act. Most of Act 4 has music going throughout it as well, and that's a half-an-hour act. Act 1, there's one song at the end. And Act 3, there's one song in it as well, so there's quite a lot of music.
There are actor musicians in this play, which gives me, as a sound designer, a certain number of problems. But we're solving them with traditional means, i.e. we're telling them to play louder or sing quieter or the reverse, rather than reverting to using a lot of microphones all over the place, which would just make the whole thing slightly distanced from the audience, whereas the immediacy of the live music on stage played by the actors helps a great deal with bringing the audience into the play.
The actor musicians, no, they're great. I mean, and when you say actor musicians, I mean, one of them has just come out of playing, being in Les Mis and Phantom in the West End, so they're actual actors. They just happen to be actors who are incredibly talented, who can also professionally play the instruments they've been given. So we've got a cello and ukulele from one person, we have a guitar from another person, we have an accordion from another person, who also happens to play the violin brilliantly, but that got cut in the process, and we have a fantastic whistle and flute player. So it's an amalgam of all those instruments.
So I'm going to go ahead of the company and train in the teenagers. They've got quite a task ahead of them. We have them, they're dancing, singing, acting, everything really, everything we can get them to do.
We use quite a lot of blood in this show, particularly for Act 2 and the fighting army scene. So the blood now we have to make up has to be safe enough to use in the face and around the face area, but then we also need a second batch of blood that's safe enough to wash out of the costume. So we make the blood from glycerine, shampoo or washing up liquid, food colourings, ground coffee, you name it, we use it. The most number of wigs I have for one character in particular is for Ruth, which is 4 different wigs, as they jump across for 4 different characters, as well as playing a soldier.
Another challenge of doing this play is that it's gone on quite a big tour, and it's gone to various venues, some pretty huge and some not so huge, and we have in Act 2 quite a sort of quite an epic piece of scenery makes an appearance, which to shoehorn in some of the venues backstage has been a bit of a challenge, and I think in Portlaoise it's probably going to be living under a tarpaulin in the yard somewhere. So, but we're not going to leave anything out. Everyone will see everything pretty much in all of the different venues. So, but that's been, you know, that's another thing that people perhaps don't think about, that, you know, the design doesn't just have to work in Galway and Dublin, it has to work in Ennis and Oxford and all of the other venues it's going to go to, all of which have different demands.
I think this is one of the largest, certainly, crews we've worked with production-wise. We've got 31 people to make this machine work, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Gary says that you have to, she's equivalent of having to sell the family china to pull this off. Is it truly epic in size and scale?
It's got huge sort of size and scope, and I don't want to give too much away to you because you've got to come and see the show.
Jazzing back to his hotel, he now goes gaily, sheltered and safe where the clock ticks tamely. His backside warm in a cushion downfield. Green clad, well splashed with gold birds, red beaks is lost in view of the front line sinking. fresh breasts of a Jew.